Hi Career Club One members, this is Heather and I'm here to help you get started on our first one-of-its-kind opportunity and networking enablement platform to help you identify great companies in fast-growing industries. This is the first video of our tutorial series that will give you an overall view of how to leverage Career Club One in your job search. When you log in for the first time, you'll notice your job pursuits pipeline is empty. There's no need to worry because we're here to help. I have created this series to walk you through each phase of your pipeline. This video will show you how to access our organization database, create personalized filters specific to what you're looking for. We'll go through 3 examples together. Do initial research regarding each company, and bookmark companies by adding them to the targeted companies portion of your pipeline. In the other video tutorials from this series, we'll also go through how to network and research, make contact with the right person, formally apply for the company, the interviewing stage, and finalizing your job search. Let's get started building a list by identifying companies that you would like to pursue. On the left-hand side, you'll see the navigation panel. We are going to select Contacts and then proceed to Organizations. You may notice it says no organizations have been added, but there's no reason to be concerned. We have over 1.4 million companies in our database. Let me show you. You will click your name located in the top right corner and then select Filters. Any filters with a lock next to it is your own private filter that is not available for any other member. The top section shows filters you have created, while the bottom section shows public filters created and available to you. Go ahead and select all companies. Let's take a moment to look at this view. You'll be able to locate the number of results from your filter here. At the top, you will see that you can easily filter the companies by the first number, letter, or character of the company name. You can customize the columns that are visible by selecting the Settings or Gear button in the upper right-hand corner. From this view, I can select and deselect different column headers. In this instance, I'm going to go ahead and select the LinkedIn URL and the company website. Just like in Excel, you can sort each column in ascending or descending order by simply left-clicking the column header. Adjust the width of the column by clicking, dragging, and releasing the separating line between each column. And change the order of the columns by clicking, dragging, and releasing the column header. As you analyze your results, you'll see that each row may contain hyperlinks, like their direct website, LinkedIn page, or the company's record within Pipedrive. While we prepare to create a filter specific to you, it is important to note a few things regarding formatting. You will notice that some fields are free text, like the description and categories fields, and some are ranges, like the employee count field, while others are specific groupings, like the region and industry group. It is also important to note that state and country fields are not abbreviated. Before you start filtering, I recommend using the search function here to search for 3 to 5 companies that you would like to work for, and note any commonalities you see between the industry group, categories, or anything else that you like. This will help you build your customized filters. Let's return to the Organizations page to build a list specific for you. Select the drop-down menu at the top right and Add New Filter. You will see 3 important sections in the filter view. In the top section, you enter all conditions that must be met, while the middle section may be a list of conditions where only one must be met. The bottom is filter settings, where you can name your filter, specify whether it is a private or shared filter, and save the column view that you create. I am going to show you how to use the filter function, but as you get more comfortable with the tool, you may find a way that works better for you. Let's start by adding our first condition. Keep in mind, we're filtering for different companies, so all of our filters begin with organization. We then select the field in which we would like to filter. I suggest starting with industry group. The next step is particularly important. This is where we decide how we're going to filter. Let's refer back to when we noted a few items regarding the formatting in the organization details. You'll see here there are multiple industry groups listed. If we said the industry group is hardware, this company would not appear in our results as that filter option implies there's only one industry group listed and it must be hardware. That being said, if we indicate the industry group contains hardware, it can be the only industry group or one of multiple industry groups listed. However, I am looking for a company that is within the data and analytics industry. For that reason, we will select Contains, Data and Analytics. Next, we are going to enter a category that is relevant for us. In this case, I'm looking for companies that are in the consumer market, so I'm going to create a condition specific to that category. Please note that I chose the singular noun consumer, as it will locate companies that may use consumer or consumers in their category, while if I entered the category must contain consumers, the results would not reflect companies that are simply categorized as consumer. In this example, I want to get target companies based in the United States. So I'll select address details, country, and as previously noted, the formatting of the country is not abbreviated. So we will select is United States. One important capability of our database is the ability to filter for companies that previously and/or recently received funding. By definition, when companies receive funding, the reason they got money was to grow. What that means is they are most likely scaling out and hiring across all functional areas and scaling up because the skill sets that got them to their current revenue may not be the same skill sets they need to continue to grow. That being said, we're going to set conditions that filter for companies that have received $5 million or more since the beginning of last year. In order to do that, we will select the last funding amount is more or equal to $5 million. Next, we will enter the last funding was on exactly or later than January 1st, 2020. Lastly, enter your filter name, select the desired visibility, toggle whether or not you want to save the selected columns with a filter, and save. Now you'll see you have 16 targeted results. Next, let's change the filter slightly to expand the results. The previous filter has specific funding requirements that we're going to remove and change. In the middle section, we will set the following conditions. Last funding on is exactly or later than January 1st, 2020. Or the ticker is not empty, which will help identify that it is a public company. Now we have set a filter that says we need a US-based company in the data and analytics industry with a focus in the consumer market and must have either received funding since January 1st, 2020 or is a public company. Change the filter name and/or settings as necessary and save. Notice I click Save as New so we don't overwrite the previous filter, and then click Save again. Now we have 65 targeted results. Before we move on, we'll go through one more example together. First, we're going to remove the funding and ticker options in the middle section. Next, we're going to add required condition that specifies we want the company to be within Midwestern US region. Go ahead and select region, contains, Midwestern US. Last, we'll enter retail and financial and consumer categories in the middle portion, which will indicate that the company must be in retail or financial or consumer markets. Note, I left the consumer category in both sections because I don't want to exclude companies that only had the consumer category listed. Change the filter name and/or settings as necessary, save as new, and save. Now we have 68 completely different targeted results. After all of that hard work, we've created 3 different filters. It's time to bookmark our target companies. Select the filter you'd like to sift through first. Sort by the column that you find is most relevant to you. I chose to filter by the most recent funding, and begin your search. When selecting the hyperlink in the name column, you'll be sent to the company record with all the database information. On the left side, you'll see company information and details. On the right side, you'll see relevant activities, if any, recent news articles, and email sent by you to any person or persons assigned to the company. If you find the company interesting, simply click Add New Deal in the top right-hand corner to bookmark it, and press Save. There's no need to add a contact person within the deal, as this will be added as we move the company through the pipeline. From here, click Organizations on the left, and move to the next company. Repeat this step until you have come to a stopping point or completed your list. Here are a few helpful tips. Try to create lists with 50 to 100 companies, and then dedicate time to go through an entire list of companies line by line. Don't spend too much time on your initial review. If you don't find it interesting within a couple of minutes, move on. Lastly, try to keep 20 or more companies in your pipeline at any given time. Navigate back to your pipeline, and you'll now see the bookmarked companies in the Target Companies column. Stay tuned for the subsequent tutorial videos as we review what steps are taken in the remaining stages of your pipeline. You'll learn how to tap into your current network and research your targeted companies, network and make contact with an influencer or decision maker, learn a new way to approach the application process, review the interviewing stage of the pipeline, and finalize your job search.